Hello, my name is Unquestionable Calvin. I talk to people about what they believe and why they believe it. If you're watching this post-production over on YouTube, thanks for being here. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more debates like these. Sorry, my lighting just fell for some reason. Very weird. That should do for now. Now, hey, I'm going to give it a minute for some people to get in here. I'm going to just kind of get my settings all situated up in here. Yeah, feel free to tell me how you're doing. What's up, Twig T, Tainted Love? How you doing? Today's topic, obviously, is going to be debating the historicity of Jesus Christ. That's what today is going to be on. So we're going to go with that for right now. Let me turn up this lighting a smidge. Looking a bit red. Oof. Yeah, I don't like that. How about this? I'm over it. Thank you. I appreciate you. There we go. That'll do for now. It'll be all right. How's it going, guys? Yeah, today we're going to talk about whether Jesus was actually a person in history, a real person that was actually walking around on planet Earth, or if purely his entire presence is only in the Bible, doesn't exist anywhere else, which that's obviously the position that I'm taking. I am a mythicist, so I do not believe Jesus Christ was ever a real person in history. And trust me, I'm more than ready to talk to some people. I'm over it says, I'm newly deconstructing. Love how you explain things. Thank you. I appreciate you. I'm glad that you're, working your way out of the fluff, out of the mythology, because I think we can all agree that modern society, we're too smart nowadays. Like I'm just an optimist but yeah, we're all too smart to be believing in these things still. Oh man. Crack my back. But thanks for being here, nonetheless. Yeah, sorry. I need to mute my microphone every time I cough, like I did last time. Last time I was live, I mean, because I'm still getting over this thing that's going on. I don't know what is going on. Man, I'm clicking on things. I'm messing up all my stuff here. Let me move this over here so I can see better. I don't need to... Oh, hang on. What was your name? Just Star, I guess. Yeah, I don't need to prove that Jesus doesn't exist. It's on you guys to prove that he does exist. I just don't believe there's sufficient evidence to believe it. Like, I don't have to prove to you that the Loch Ness Monster doesn't exist, right? Your only contention is, this other magic guy, magic thing. So yeah, you're welcome to call up here, and we can talk about why you believe that Jesus Christ is a real person in history. I'd be interested to know. And if it's anything that I haven't heard before, then, we'll go from there. All right, we're going to take the first guest here. We have someone calling up here. Real quick first, before we take the first guest, Mr. and Mrs. O, it's always nice to see you. Thank you for the, I don't know what that is, but thanks for the gift nonetheless. Your friend Ellie sent 3 corns. Thank you. Cone. And then Mrs. O also sent me a heart. Thank you so much. I do appreciate you, Mrs. O. It's always nice seeing you here. Mr. and Mrs. O. Sorry, I always leave out I shorten it too much. Are you 2 people running the same account, or are you just like Mr. or Mrs., oh, that's right. I don't know. But nonetheless, we're going to take the first guest here, guys. Just a couple of ground rules here. I'm going to ask you how old you are when you call up. It's always Mrs. on board. All right, noted. But anyway, sorry. Yeah, I'm going to ask you how old you are when you call up. If you're anything under 18 or you fail to give me any age at all, I will have to drop you. It's just TikTok rules. Do not talk and drive, okay? I can't talk to anyone who is operating heavy machinery and talking to me. I just can't. TikTok will know I will know. We'll have to drop you, okay? And another thing is that you cannot violate any community guidelines here on TikTok or on YouTube because, again, this is being posted post-production over on YouTube. So once the recording is over, by the end of today, maybe tomorrow morning, this will be available to watch fully unedited over on YouTube. But nonetheless, we're going to take the first guest here. Who is it now? I already forgot. My attention span is terrible. Let me see. My computer's really slow. Bear with me. All right. McGroiper. We're going to take you, McGroiper. Hey, before we get started, how old are you? Cool. What's up? What you got for me? Okay, before you get started, just so you know, man, this is not a philosophy live. I don't do philosophy on here. So if you want to talk about like stuff in like, hang on now. If I fail to grasp how the transcendental argument can prove that a man existed on the planet Earth. So do you have evidence that Jesus Christ existed as a person? I'm sorry. I just realized that I had you muted this whole time to the guests. I could hear you, but the chat could not. So that's my bad. I'm sorry. Chat, let me know if you guys can hear him now. Sorry, had a little bit of issue there. Chat, can you guys hear McGroiper?
Do I need to say something?
Okay, cool. We got some confirmation they can hear you. I'm sorry, we got a little off there. Everyone can hear you now. So I'm sorry. Can you what is your evidence that Jesus Christ existed?
Yeah, it'd be the transcendental argument for God, that there is no world where the Eastern Christian or the Eastern Orthodox Christian worldview is false because all of them are incoherent. Therefore, Jesus Christ would have to exist because no other worldview has justification for metaphysics, epistemics, or ethics.
Okay, hey man, listen, I told you at the beginning that this isn't a philosophy thing. Okay, so like what
Well,
evidence
that's why
do you
I
have
asked, are you
that
asking for
what evidence
scientific?
like what can we look at like right now to
So is
prove
it
that Jesus
arbitrary?
existed?
So is this arbitrary? Why does it have to be? Are you an empiricist? Are
So
you asking for
I'll ask one more
empirical
time, my friend.
evidence?
So what evidence do we have that Jesus Christ
That's
existed?
what I'm asking. Are you asking for scientific evidence or
I'm asking
empiricism,
for evidence,
observational?
but philosophical arguments isn't going to prove whether a man existed.
Well, they actually are, because if you ask for
They won't.
science, you understand science has a philosophy. Therefore, you'd have to affirm the
Okay.
philosophical basis of science.
All
So
right,
if
so
you don't
I'll
know
ask you
philosophy,
one
that's
more time,
fine.
okay? So what evidence do you got that Jesus Christ
So you
existed?
just don't understand philosophy? That's
All
the
right.
argument.
Cool, man. So we're gonna move on. So sorry, guys. Sorry, any philibros that are watching. I don't do philosophy. If you can't speak in like speak to me like I'm a 5-year-old. Like you don't talk to your grandma that way, right? Like when your grandma says that, like let's say your grandmother approached you and said Jesus Christ doesn't exist, right? Would you come at your grandmother like that? Would you go through all this filibro stuff with your grandmother? Maybe like your like 5 or 6 year old niece or nephew. Would you like talk to your 5 or 6 year old nephew like that? No, you would explain to them like they're a human person like sitting in front of you. You're not gonna talk to them like they're stupid for not understanding your $5 philosophy terms. Okay, so. When you want to put your big boy pants on and call back up and try to defend why you believe, some ancient Jewish pastor guy in the Middle East, we can go that route, okay? But I don't do the philosophy stuff. But you're welcome to continue crying in the comments, though. Here I'm gonna send this person an invite. Logan Jack 927. Go ahead and request up to be a guest. Seem to be very talkative in the comments, but here I'll send you an invite. Okay. Logan Jack, you've got a request to call up here and talk to me. I'd be happy to debunk these people for you, but you got to call up. I don't talk to people in comments, No point in debate. Like I talk to people in comments on, on TikTok and Instagram and stuff all day. I argue with people in comments. So, got AirPods on. Can't use my mic. Well, All right. Well, okay, bye. Sounds like you're a coward, but go off. AirPods have AirPods have microphones in them. Don't know if anyone like knew that, but AirPods have mics in them, so that's not really an excuse. So, if you're on your lunch break or something, like I don't know, get back to work or something. Yeah, I know they're scared to come up because they know they can't prove that Jesus actually existed. All they can do is give references for second and third century contemporary historians who never even claimed to know or experience Jesus. Like all of those names that you gave us, like Tacitus, Josephus, Pliny the Younger, Suetonius, and Marbar Serapion. All of those people never claimed to know Jesus. To be fair, that last one, the Marabar Serapion, I get wrapped up on that because it's so weird and long. But so no hate on them for that. But yeah, all those people that you listed were born, lived, and died after Jesus would have been born, lived, and died. And at the very least, none of these people claimed to know Jesus. So would you like to try again? Their books. What an argument. All right. Well, thanks, guys, for being here. If you're watching this post-production over on YouTube, my name is UnquestionableCalvin, and I talk to people about what they believe and why they believe it. We're going to go through a couple super chats here. Well, I call them super chats, but they're not really. They're TikTok gifts, I guess you could say. Still working on the YouTube setup, right, to get like actual YouTube super chats live and stuff like that. But while I was talking to the last clown from Ghana, Fabez. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that. Oh, you sent a fest pop. Thank you. I appreciate that. Ex-Muslim sent me a heart and a TikTok, a little TikTok gift. Thank you. I appreciate it. You have seen how mass immigration has turned Detroit into Syria. I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, what? Turn Detroit into Syria. Unfortunately, this is not the live for you, my poor uninformed friend. My God, you're dumb, but nonetheless, whatever. All right, yeah, we got no one requesting to come up. We just had one, little filibro who didn't want to, actually have a genuine conversation. He just wanted to preach. Looks like he left now. I don't think he's watching anymore, probably because he got offended that he couldn't spew his, filibro jargon, and I was going to let him keep talking. I don't let filibros keep talking. Sorry. If you're going to say just objectively false things, I will cut you off. Yeah, I will cut you off if you're just going to say, I don't let people spew their, like, false ideology, their false agenda or whatever you want it to be. I don't let people spew that on my lives. So if you're going to say false shit, I'm going to interrupt you. I'm going to tell you that you're wrong. User 1238752759759 said, which religious books have you read? So far, I have my Quran. I have my Quran right here. I've got my Bible, of course. Good old trusty Bible. Good old trusty Bible. I've got the Book of Mormon. I'm still working on it. About halfway through. So the thing is like I am technically halfway through because a very large chunk of this like last portion here is just like notes, like it's like the index and shit like that. So like literally, yeah, it's literally like this big chunk right here isn't even like the Book of Mormon. So I mean, when you look at that, I technically am like halfway through it. Just such a boring read. God damn. I'm working on the Talmud as well. Obviously, only got a couple tabs in here. I'm only 30 pages in, maybe. How much? I don't know. There's no page numbers on here. I don't know. This is probably about, yeah, probably about 20, 30 pages in to Talmud. I've got my Bhagavad Gita is out of reach over there, but I have my Bhagavad Gita. I read the whole thing of the Bhagavad Gita. I have the Satanic Bible over there too, next to my Bhagavad. It's just out of reach. I can't reach my bookshelf over there. Yeah, I've got my Bhagavad Gita and book, the Satanic Bible over there. I have my Egyptian Book of the Dead over there too. Not to mention I have at least 5 Bible translations sitting over there, plus this one here. plus this little tiny one that I have, on my desk. So I've definitely done my due diligence of looking at God claims. And I'm just sorry, just not really convinced of fairy tales. Do you want to see how Europe turned into Somalia? Well, it didn't. Do you believe the Talmud influences modern political or something? Yeah, in some places it does. Opinion on Buddhism. I don't have a whole lot of opinions on Buddhism because I haven't really looked into it. It's like they've got like a couple of like doctrines. It's the same kind of thing with Hinduism. Like I'm not super educated on Hinduism. Obviously, I've read the Bhagavad Gita because that was the one that was like first suggested to me. I still want to read like the Mahabharata and stuff like that and the Vedas. But as far as like Buddhism, I don't really know what their doctrines are. Is the thing. So I don't even like know what to look for. I don't know what Buddhists like read. Is the thing. I mean, if you got like a suggestion, you can let me know, and I mean, I'll definitely take note of it. Sitting on the fence. What does that mean? Feather says sitting on the fence. I don't know what that means. Veer says, which book is the least boring read out of them? The least boring? The Quran's kind of fun. Honestly, just because it's just so fucking crazy. It's just so crazy. So, I mean, I would say the Quran is a fun read. Pretty quick read, too, to be honest. The Bible is fun once you get past, like the first half of Genesis is fun, and then the last half is kind of boring because it's like this person begat this person begat that person. It's just like a lot of boring shit there. But once you get past the begats and then you get into Exodus, that's when the fun stuff starts. Then from like Exodus to probably like, I would say from Exodus to like First Kings, maybe. I would say like Exodus to about First Kings is pretty fun. Then like First and Second Kings are a little bit boring. Yeah. So I mean, it's got its highs and lows. Bhagavad Gita is a pretty boring read. Book of Mormon's a really boring read. I highly suggest like reading the Bible and understanding the Bible before going into the Book of Mormon, because it's just like a lot of like that old English talk, and it's just kind of like weird. I tried reading the Book of Mormon like at the same time as I was reading the Bible. Not really working out. It was really confusing. Skeptical, I'm not going to let you be racist on my page, okay? So we're going to get you out of here. Yeah, Skeptical Cheese was starting to get racist, so we had to get him out of here. Can't have that. Do you mean Jesus the magic guy or historical random Jewish guy? Both. Neither of them existed. Why do you think he didn't exist? Call up and we can talk about it. What do you believe? I believe the sky is blue. I believe my wife loves me. I believe my dog is a chocolate lab. I believe that gravity exists. Like, what do you mean believe? Like, believe in what? Do you believe there's a creator? No, because that's what being an atheist is. Are you atheist or agnostic? What if I told you I'm both? What if I told you that there is no way to not be agnostic? Everybody is agnostic. So who's going to call up and be a guest, guys? I mean, I got tons of people. I got like 50 people sitting in here. You tell me no one, but you tell me every single person in here believes that Jesus Christ didn't exist? There's not a single person in there. Or are you guys just too scared to call up because I'll prove that Jesus doesn't exist or didn't exist? Do you believe the earth is round? Yes. Got lots and lots of questions coming in, guys. Lots and lots of questions, but not a single caller. What's up with that? No one feeling talkative? Han George Caleb, you just saying that Jesus existed doesn't make it true. Here, I'll send you an invite, okay? Hey, before we get started, how old are you?
Good night there. How are you doing? I'm 43.
43. Good, good. All right. So you believe Jesus existed as a person in history?
I do, brother.
Why?
Number one, I'm a Christian, and it is part of my belief and faith to believe that Jesus Christ existed. And
Right.
I
I
take it
understand that's
literally.
what you believe, but why do you believe that? Why do you believe he was a real person? Do you believe it just because someone told you that he existed and you were convinced of it? Or do you have something that could possibly convince me that he existed?
No,
Because
no, historically, I believe, and how again Jesus manifests himself in my life also makes me to believe.
right. So I'm not interested in personal experiences as a thing. Because people can imagine a lot of things. So how do we know that in history, like 2000-ish years ago, that there was an ancient Jewish guy named Jesus walking around who may or may not have had magic superpowers? That is the guy that is spoken about in the Bible. Like, how do we know? How do you know that?
But it is clearly documented, brother.
It is not.
There is a yes,
It
it
is
is
not.
clearly documented by the people who the previous people who are available.
Where?
It is clearly documented
Where?
in the Bibles, in other
Don't care.
books also. Yeah.
The Bible saying the Bible is true is a fallacy. It's circular. So I don't care. So do you have something out without the Bible saying the Bible says the Bible is true? Do you have something outside of the Bible? Because I mean, obviously, like, come on now, I'm not stupid. The Bible talks about Jesus, right? Like it talks like he's a real person. It does.
Yes.
Absolutely. Do you
Yes.
have anything
Yes.
outside of that? Because I could tell you like the whole there's a lot of inconsistencies with how the Bible speaks of Jesus. The whole, it's not really checking out the earliest you know, Bible translations and being like dozens of
They
years
did.
after Jesus would have existed. No firsthand first century contemporary historians writing about Jesus during the time period that he would have existed and having this cult following. There's no census documentations. There's no arrest records or body or tomb or crucifix he was, killed on. None of this exists. So, like, what else do we have?
No, no, my friend. There is a documentation. There is archaeological evidence, and the inconsistency of the Bible. Much doesn't matter, but what matters is the belief. Inconsistency sometimes creates a space uh, where the different messages doesn't matter, but what matters is God existed, Jesus existed.
Okay,
That
but
is
that's the
what
claim.
what what
You just
what
said
it
that
is,
Jesus
brother.
existed, but
Because even
but
even
how
even
do you know that Jesus existed? How do you know that? Like, how can you demonstrate to me right now for the 59 people that are watching, how can you demonstrate that Jesus Christ existed? How can you do that right now without just quoting the Bible more?
and that is why I'm still taking you back. That is why I'm still taking you back. That there are a lot of records which have
What?
been
You keep
documented.
saying
You
there's a
see,
lot
these
of records
records,
documenting
they
Jesus, but
keep
you
on.
haven't given me any of the documents. You just keep referencing the Bible. So what are these documents you're talking about? I
Bible,
would love to read them.
Bible is one of the
I
records.
don't care.
Bible is one of the
I
records,
know that the
and
Bible's
even if
one
you,
of it's the
and
only
even if
record.
you
So like
check,
what do you have that isn't the
look
Bible?
at it.
Please.
If you go, if you read, bro, if you read, even if you go to Muslim, Islam recognizes
I don't
Jesus
care
that
because the
he
Quran just
existed
copied the
as a prophet.
Bible. The Quran was written in 600. Is written in 600. Okay, so that's literally 600 years after Jesus would have existed. I don't give a fuck what the Quran says about Jesus. And it also
I
says he
want to,
wasn't crucified.
okay.
So it's again, it's a contradiction.
Okay, brother. Okay. Let me toss this question. I'm sorry. Let me toss this question. Why do you believe that Jesus did not exist?
Lack of
According to you?
evidence. You have failed to give. I have society in general. Everyone has failed to provide the evidence that Jesus Christ was even a real person, let alone had magic superpowers. So what evidence? So
My
I don't
brother.
have any burden of proof. I just don't
You can
believe in
you can
the
make up a
supposed.
book, Pastor.
Hang on,
We'll follow
hang on,
up with you
hang on.
until you
I'm not
become a
making any
Christian.
claims here. Is the
Okay.
thing. I'm not making any claims. I'm just saying I don't believe you. Prove it. And no
Yes.
one has been able to prove it. So I am warranted in saying he doesn't exist. Just like I can say the leprechauns don't exist because there's no evidence of leprechauns. And if I say leprechauns don't exist because there's no evidence of leprechauns, no one bats an eye, right? No one cares. But as soon as you say Jesus doesn't exist because there's no evidence of Jesus existing, so I'm warranted in saying that Jesus doesn't exist, then everyone's all up in arms. Just prove that he existed, and I'll have to backtrack. It's not hard. You guys are
You
so
see,
confident saying he was real and then can't prove it when backed into a corner.
bro, you see, the things of spirits sometimes is very difficult to understand with the carnal mind. You have to have a spiritual mind for you to understand
What does that mean?
the aspect of
What is a
I
spiritual
mean
mind?
you have to relate like somebody who acts who is spiritual. How can I say it? You have to accept the Christianity, or you have to be saved at first for you to understand this. You see,
So you have to
I'm
believe
talking to
it
you.
before you can believe it. You have to convince yourself that it's true before you even know what the fuck you're talking about, is what you're telling me. You just gotta
I
believe it.
can
You
say
just
it
gotta.
like, I can say it like that. For it to work for you, for it to work for you, for it to work out for you, bro.
For it to walk out for you. I'm sorry, maybe there's a language
For you to
barrier, but
believe. No, yeah, language barrier. For you to believe. I'm a Kenyan. Sometimes English is a third language.
yeah, I'm
It is
trying to
not
hang
an
with you.
official. Okay, so I'm saying you have to believe first, so that you believe that Jesus Christ existed. Just like
Right.
you also believe, that as an atheist, you also believe that he did not exist.
No.
But you have some other.
No, so that's the thing, is that being an atheist is not a belief system. It's the lack of a belief system. So that's wrong there.
Okay.
And the thing you said that you need to believe the Bible before you can believe, or you have to believe in Jesus before you can believe that God exists. So that's the thing, is that you're telling me that you just gotta like essentially choose to believe that Jesus existed, or choose that that God is real. But like, I think you're misunderstanding, because belief isn't a choice. I am not convinced because of lack of evidence. So if you were to give me that evidence, then that would then convince me of the contrary, and then I would now believe that Jesus existed and that God is real and that I'm Christian and stuff now, right? But Christians and believers in Jesus as a historical person have failed to do that. So I'm warranted in saying that that isn't true until further notice. So other than saying faith, which essentially, like, that's what I'm getting from why you believe that Jesus existed, is on faith, and I'm not that gullible. So like, I need more than faith for that. So I'll ask you just one more time, okay? Because I do have some other people waiting in the queue. What evidence do you have outside of the Bible saying the Bible is true that Jesus Christ existed as a person in history?
But there is his burial site in Jerusalem. You can also, there is a burial site
There is
in
not.
Jerusalem.
There's lots of burial sites in Jerusalem and even in Palestine and stuff. It's a marketing scheme. You know, people put up a carve out a cave, you know, or find a cave and like put some stuff in there and then claim that it's a place where Jesus, you know, was buried or whatever, or, put in the tomb, and then people make a bunch of money off of it from tourists. So again, that's not, it's not proof of anything. But hey, man, listen, I'll let you go for now, okay? But I appreciate you for calling up. But we're gonna move on to the next person. Yeah, guys, thanks for being here. If you're watching this post-production over on YouTube, thanks for hanging. I appreciate it. Make sure to leave a like, a comment, and subscribe to the channel for more debates like these. To this week's topic is the historicity of Jesus. Did Jesus actually exist as a person in history? I'm a mythicist, so I am on the opposing side. I don't think that Jesus Christ ever was actually like a real person walking around. I have no reason to believe that, but that's the whole reason of me being here, is that I'm here to, possibly be convinced otherwise. Then I might have to backtrack some stuff. But until further notice, I am still a mythicist. Before we take the next guest, let's go through some gifts here. Let's see. Yeah, ex-Muslim, again, you sent me that TikTok stuff. Exodus of Faith sending me a heart, and Jay Lennox also sending me a heart me. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Let's read through some comments here, make sure I'm not missing anything. Yapasatva, can a request up even if not quite up? I mean, sure, I guess. Why not? Yeah, Jay Lennox does, that is correct. Jay Lennox says one tomb is in Japan, Shingon Village. It is. That's what's funny, is that I actually did a podcast probably 4 years ago now on my old podcast, Unquestionable with Calvin Smith, which you guys can still listen to on Spotify, by the way. I did an episode on what was it? I forgot what the episode was on, honestly, but I did talk about the tomb that is in Japan, that apparently there's a lot of sects of Christianity in Japan that believe that Jesus actually escaped the Middle East and actually fled to Japan, where he lived a whole like happy life and everything. Had a whole cult following over there. There's a whole shrine to Jesus over there where it's believed that that's his burial site. It's really funny stuff. But anyways, guys, we're gonna take the next guest here. Let me take a drink first. Oh man, the guest I was literally just about to click on already backed out, but that's fine. We'll move on to the next one. Hey, before we get started, how old are you?
I'm 18.
Cool. What's up? What you got for me? Do you believe that Jesus existed?
Yes, I do.
All right. Why?
I would just point to Josephus, Pliny the Younger, and Tacitus, probably.
Why?
Because aside from the Pauline letters, which they themselves trace back only like 40 years after. But if we go to like these historians, because you wouldn't use the Bible as a critique, right? So if I'm trying to prove it outside the Christian paradigm, then I'll just point to these non-Christian affirmations, and yeah. I mean, alongside that, you have a scholarly consensus. I can name some, but
I mean, the same thing. Like, you can name people that do believe Jesus existed. I can name you people that believe that he didn't. There's plenty. I mean, I'm not the only one in this, right? Like, I'm not the only mythicist out there. And I think that the mythicists actually have it right. But the thing with Josephus is that, first of all, he was Jewish, right? Like, I think we can both agree that he was Jewish. So the thing is like the writing style in chapter 20, section 197 of his writings, which is chapter 20, section 197. It's a different writing style, right? So he's talking about like the divinity of Jesus and called Christ and stuff like that. He's talking about Jesus. But the thing is being a Jewish historian, that was not his actual belief system. He didn't even believe that. So like, why would he be calling Jesus the Messiah if he was Jewish? Because that contradicts his actual belief system that he actually had. Just like F. literally just said in the chat, it's an interpolation by Eusebius is what we believe, who is also another high priest historian. And Eusebius is actually credited as being the person who actually faked or forged all the writings that in which Josephus is speaking of Jesus and his divinity and stuff, and like where it says called Christ. That's all just a big mistranslation. So
Oh, no,
Yeah,
yeah,
so
no, I
and
don't deny
Josephus
that.
being born, lived, and died well after Jesus would have existed. Josephus's death date, birth date being on 37 CE, and the scholarly consensus is that Jesus was unalived on April 3rd of 33 CE. So this would be at least 5 or 6 years after Jesus would have even existed that Josephus was born. And then he goes on to write, his Antiquities of the Jews in 93, 94 CE. So who cares what he has to say? That's like me writing a book about Christopher Columbus. That's like me writing just on stuff that other people, like if I believe that Christopher Columbus was God, which I don't obviously, but if I did, that's like me writing a book on Christopher Columbus based on what other people are telling me and indoctrinating me into believing, right? So like who cares what I have to say about Christopher Columbus if I have literally nothing other than other people's lived experiences to go off of. So like Josephus, Tacitus, Suetonius, Sextus Julius Africanus, Caiaphas, all of these people are not witnesses, and they never claimed to be witnesses. They never claimed to know Jesus or experience him. So it's literally just a bunch of guys giving their personal opinions. I literally could care less.
Okay, so I don't deny there are some interpolations, but I don't agree that the whole text was a forgery unless you believe.
Oh
that. I
no,
don't think so.
I'm sorry. It's not a whole forgery. It's
So you
not
don't
just
believe that there's-
specifically the places where Josephus is speaking of Jesus's divinity and calling him the Messiah, saying the one who was called Christ. Those specific sections are forgeries, and it's like it's not a secret. It's not something I made up. This is also scholarly consensus, is that these are forged letters. So again, it's
But then
pointless.
when he says that there was a man that was appeared called Jesus, you deny that?
Yes, he. Well, to be fair, obviously, like speaking about Jesus and like saying like, hey, Jesus was a real guy, like him saying that, right? That's fine. That's his opinion. It's his opinion. But again, he was born after Jesus died, so he's literally going off of stories that other people are telling him. That's not evidence.
The old tradition, right? Hold
The
on, you said-
plural of anecdote is not data. So the amount of people giving their personal experiences does not make it true.
Okay. So, I mean, the thing is, the people in those times wouldn't write anything straight away, because oral tradition is very strong. Not only that, if I grant that this is an interpolation or whatever, and we still have the Pauline epistles, which are 30 years after, why should I, with that logic, I wouldn't accept anyone. I wouldn't accept Socrates existed. I wouldn't accept Caesar existing, because he himself has no contemporary
Well, the
manuscript.
thing
Why
is,
should I believe that?
so you're already pulling a whataboutism. We're already deflecting to other people who,
No,
frankly,
I'm
doesn't like
respecting
like
people's
Julius Caesar existing and Christopher Columbus, even like these people like existing. It doesn't matter. It doesn't affect my life right now. People believe that Jesus Christ existed and he was their Lord and Savior, and they treat other people differently, and they vote on laws and policies that affect my life based on the existence of this man. Not to mention, like the people that you just listed, none of them had magic superpowers. They didn't walk on water. They didn't change water into wine. They didn't heal people. They didn't heal themselves. They didn't fly. They didn't resurrect zombies in themselves. They were not claimed to do these things. Jesus did. So that's why I think that it's a lot more important to talk about this guy's existence, where people are believing in this and then treating other people differently about it, and kind of essentially forcing my government to believe in that same thing, rather than talk about like a political figure where we have plenty of evidence actually existed.
I'm not you. I don't care if Jesus was God or whatever. We're just granting that he's a historical figure. So you saying about him being a Superman doing whatever, I don't really care about that. We're trying to prove that he's a historical figure.
Yeah. So how can you do that?
The reason why I appeal to Socrates or whatever is to show, if you're going to say Jesus didn't exist, you would have to, just by being fair, grant that these people didn't exist also.
No.
Why not?
Because there's independent evidences and resources to corroborate their existence. Quite literally, we have one book that is where is it? We have this. If this book didn't exist, Jesus would not exist. He is not written anywhere else in history. If this book was never written, he would never have been spoken about in all of history, right? Like not even Josephus would have spoken of him. The thing is with, I forgot the person that you mentioned, but with that person existing, like Julius Caesar or whatever existing, we have other things. We don't have just one single book to document his existence. We have we have tons of evidence. We have, you know, things that he owned and things that he personally signed and firsthand eyewitness testimonies. We don't have any of that for Jesus Christ. We have census records from Julius Caesar. No census records from Jesus Christ, right? So why believe that he existed? And again, you're still pulling like the whataboutism. You're going back to, oh, well, what about these? But I'm not talking about that right now in this conversation, in this live right now. We're talking about Jesus Christ. So like, let's stay on topic. How do we know that Jesus Christ was a real person? How can we demonstrate that? Because it seems like you kind of ran away from that to go to other people because I proved you wrong.
No, because I'm just saying you have to be fair in your treatment. Because
well, then let's be fair to the live and the topic at hand. So, like, what evidence do you have that Jesus existed?
So, what's your criteria for judging someone exists?
Genuinely couldn't give you the answer right now. But right now, you're asking me another question. I asked you a question. So, how about again? I'll ask you one more time. Okay. What evidence do you have that Jesus Christ existed? I'll ask you one more time. If you fail to answer, I do have some other people waiting up in queue that probably be a little bit more honest.
I need
okay.
To know your
criteria. So what evidence do you have that Jesus Christ existed?
Criteria. What?
So what evidence do you have? Stop talking. So what evidence do you have that Jesus Christ existed?
I already presented you my evidence.
All right. Sorry, guys. Did not give the evidence. I proved him wrong on literally every single aspect of everything that he spoke about, and then he wanted to go on to whataboutisms. Whoa, well, what about Julius Caesar? What about, et cetera, et cetera? This person. I don't care. I don't care about any of those people. Do you see me stating that Julius Caesar didn't exist? Do you see me stating Alexander the Great didn't exist? I don't care. I didn't do any evidence or I didn't do any research on any of those people's existence because those people's existence doesn't affect my life. Jesus Christ existing in history would crumble the entire Christian faith and in turn crumble the entire Trump administration. Okay, let's be fucking honest. If Jesus Christ didn't exist, the government's fucked. Okay, so like it's really fucking important. And nowhere in American politics are they talking about the existence of Alexander the fucking Great. Okay, they're forcing children to learn about fairy tales, about men who had magic superpowers, and they're forcing your children, they're forcing your kids to learn that. It's a fucking problem. So, sorry if I only want to talk about fucking Jesus right now. Jesus. Oh, man. But yeah, if you don't stay on topic, we're just going to move on, okay? I don't deal with cowards. All right. We got a couple gifts in there. So yeah, we got the Jay Lennox heart. Thank you. Sabrina Beatty. Thank you for the holiday tater. Thank you. I don't know how I missed that. That's cute. Erica sent a hi bear. Thank you so much for that gift. I appreciate you guys for watching. If you're watching over on YouTube post-production, thanks again for watching. Thanks for being here. I love you. We're getting close to 1,100 subscribers over on YouTube. So if you're not already subscribed, make sure to follow me on, YouTube. Subscribe there. You got me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, Twitter, Blue Sky, Snapchat even. I'm literally everywhere. I even have a Discord server. I'm trying to get the Discord server up and running. So if you guys could really do me a favor and head to my I'm getting tied up in my words. Head over to my bio on my page and jump into the Discord server and tell me why you believe that Jesus Christ existed. Tell me why you believe in a God, why maybe you don't believe in a God. Let's spark up a conversation over on my Discord server. I do not have a very large following over there, but I would love to spark up a conversation or two over there. Maybe make some friends along the way. Angry Red Atheist, nice to see you. Thank you for being here. Buddy C in here with the W Calvin. I appreciate you, buddy. It's always nice seeing you. My beautiful wife is in here as well, sending the W. Rachel, thank you very much for watching, being a supporter, all right, with all that being said, guys, we do have another guest loaded up. We have Yepa Satva. Please tell me if I said that wrong. Hey, what's up? How old are you?
I'm 28.
Cool. What's up? What you got for me?
I was the one who posted in the chat saying I'm not quite an op. I just wanted to, and you might agree with this. Some mythicists don't. But establishing, even if you accept that, like, the Talmud, which is honestly a response to Christians existing, not to the person of Christ, like, even if you accept that as a source, the Jesus described in that text is not the Jesus described in the Gospels.
Oh,
That
really?
is not-
See, I haven't gotten all the way through the Talmud. I don't know if you were here, I'm only like 20, 30 pages into the Talmud. So we haven't even really gotten to the whole Jesus stuff yet. Right now, they're just kind of laying down the law. It's a super boring, kind of complicated read. So I'm taking my time on it. But that's interesting. That's interesting.
I mean, it's the Jewish people trying to take the Old Testament laws seriously and live them. It makes sense why it's a legal code. It's a boring legal code. But like what it says about Jesus is that he was a charlatan and a huckster and a trickster, that he was not a Messiah, that he walked around doing parlor tricks, misled people, tried to get them to rise up in sedition against the rightful government and to violate the rules of the Torah, and that he was the son of a loose woman who slept with a Roman soldier, and that she made up the lie, and that he is likely, and this one is just one of the sages attesting this, but that he is likely in the pits of Gehenna in a giant mound of feces.
Wow.
So,
I can't wait to get to that part.
I mean,
That's crazy.
These are like four little, very short. I mean, like one of them is maybe like 3 paragraphs, but 4 very short little inserts about like Yeshua ben Bethlehem and like Yeshua ben Nazarene, and these are said to be like the same man.
That's funny.
And
Yeah.
it's just like
I'm sifting through my Talmud right now, seeing if I can like see anything. But
I can pull up.
there's like no index or like anything in here, so I
pull up
can't
the
like
verse.
I can't find
I
like the
have the
page
verses
or
saved if
exact
you
like
want me
because
to
that's
grab them.
hilarious.
I can grab the verses real quick if you want me to. Because
Yeah, I mean
this
maybe
is-
if you got like the chapter or something.
Yeah. I only have the 3 written down in my notes.
Okay. Well, I mean that kind of cuts it down, I guess, a little bit. Maybe it's like a chapter 3 somewhere.
It was the 3 that mattered to me. They were all in the same book.
Interesting. Well, I'll do some more research on it later, but that's really interesting. That's funny.
No, it's very funny to see them attest to it. And also, like, I know there's, like, the academic consensus is that, like, Joseph, I can never pronounce it, Josephus?
Oh, Josephus, you mean?
Yes, Josephus. I just, all years of, like, a year and a half, 2 years of seminary, still can't pronounce it. I mean, maybe that's the reason I dropped out.
Maybe.
But, like, even though the academic consensus is that like that is a later insert into the text, and it's not the same wording, and not all of the references to Jesus are in all of the different versions of the text that we have, which is also like the strongest evidence that this is an insertion, is that it's not in the different Aramaic and Assyrian versions of it. But like what that describes as well is just there are Christians and they claim this is the Messiah. It's not an actual statement of like I witnessed this man.
Mm-hmm.
That does not exist. And like they're appealing to texts that really don't support that. And even if you establish that there was a wandering rabbi who got crucified in like 33 AD, that doesn't prove the miracles. That doesn't prove the resurrection.
Correct.
That doesn't prove the claims of Christianity. And
Right.
proving the historical man, that is not the same man. That is not the Jesus they worship if he was just the one the Talmud describes.
Yes.
This wandering huckster born of a loose woman.
Exactly. So let me also kind of piggyback off of that anyone watching, I mean, if you can prove that Jesus Christ existed to me, like, cool, great, awesome, thumbs up, good job. Now prove he had magic superpowers. Now prove he was God, right? Like, like now you have so much more burden rather than just having this one claim that he existed, right? You just have that one thing. And then if you can prove that he existed as a person, which you can't, then you have all this extra shit that you now have to prove for it to like literally mean anything. So like if someone can prove to me that Jesus existed, like, cool, great. I'll make a video saying, sorry, my bad. And then at the end, I'll say, now prove that he could walk on water and that he had, X-Men-esque superpowers, right? So like that's my big contention here, is that he had like magic superpowers. Him existing is honestly kind of the least of my worries, but I think that it's also super crazy important to discuss it, because if he doesn't exist, then the entirety of the Christian faith crumbles. So
I mean, him existing proves nothing in their favor, but that there is literally no proof for 100 years after this man's death that he exists is also crazy. And then, Buddha has as much historical evidence as Jesus does. And then if we're going by people who we really have direct counts of, Muhammad, Joseph Smith. If we are going by who has the most historical, who is historically recorded the best, we should all be Muslims or Mormons. But we all recognize, as those of us outside of those religions, that their claims are wrong, that the moon wasn't split, that the golden tablets were a hoax, that Jews did not cross into North America on submarines.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. And I mean, I'm in the middle of the Book of Mormon too, and man, that's some crazy shit right there. But hey, thanks for calling up. I do appreciate you. But yeah, I think we're gonna move on to maybe see if someone in here is an opposer. But it seems like we're kind of on the same side. But thanks for the education lesson. I do appreciate it. I learned something a little new today.
If you ever have questions about Buddhism or Hinduism, just let me know. And
for sure, I might drop you a follow. So appreciate it. All right. Sorry if I cut you off, but thanks for being here. I'll probably drop you a follow later because I'm interested. Let's see who we got in the guest queue. Load them up, load them up, load them up. Mahdi, sorry, you already got your chance today. I only take one. You only get one call a day. So you can call back next time that I'm live, okay? And I can embarrass you a little bit more. But for now, we're gonna pass on, okay? All right. Let's check on some comments here and some gifts. We got ex-Muslim sending Yapatsva. I'm sorry if I didn't clarify how to pronounce your name. Sending you some gifts along your way. So good for you. Good for you. Thanks, ex-Muslim. I'm sure it's appreciated. But, all right, guys. I ain't got anyone in the queue now. It was just Mahdi who is requesting up. Unfortunately, I already talked to Mahdi, so we only talked to one person. Well, you only get one shot per live. If you get dropped, then that's it. Unfortunately, Mahdi didn't want to answer any questions, so. Mahdi, no, you don't want an actual educational chat. Because we tried that, remember? We tried that, and you didn't want to answer any questions. So maybe next time, though, okay? All right, guys. We don't have anyone requesting up right now, but I appreciate you guys for being here. If you're watching over on YouTube, thanks again. Appreciate it. If you're watching this on TikTok live right now with the 40-ish people that are in here, thanks for being here. I do appreciate all of you guys. I appreciate all the guests or gifts too, and I do appreciate the guests too. If you're calling up, even if you're in opposition, I appreciate you guys for being here. Even just sitting here watching me, gives me a little bit of reason to keep doing this. Mahdi, you got dropped after 5 minutes. Yes, you did, because you didn't want to answer questions. So you only got 5 minutes up here. You are correct. Absolutely. Absolutely. So thank goodness. What question did I not answer? Tell you what, when this is posted up on YouTube, either later today, maybe tomorrow, you can rewatch it and see for yourself, okay? Okay. I have to gentle parent sometimes. God loves you. Gave me a follow. I really didn't want to say that username out loud, but hey, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Janice Lawrence says Jesus loves you. Nah. Do you think Jesus is a top or a bottom? I think that he's probably a bottom. Probably likes the butt stuff. Probably asexual. Do you think he likes butt stuff? Verse bottom. Yeah, probably. My guy, my man. You're right. I could ask, hey, Jesus? Hey, Jesus? Or are you down here? Jesus? You like butt stuff, bud? He'll let me know. Janice, here, how about I send you an invite since you just want to kind of cower in the chats. Seem to be a little bit too scared to call up yourself, so I'll just, let me see here. Let me find you. Send you an invite here. Someone reported me for harassment because I said Jesus likes butt stuff. I don't care. Here I am. Maybe next time. Janice must have their requests turned off. I said, well, he kind of did get nailed. That's funny. All right, I guess I'll just have to chill on the stuff because TikTok doesn't like it. That's all right. When are you live next? Thanks for asking. I'm live every Wednesday, unless something comes up with work or just, obviously daily life. I'm guaranteed Wednesdays off of work every week for the time being. So at this point, you can catch me every Wednesday. The time that I'm live on Wednesday, I kind of prefer to go live earlier in the day just to kind of get it out of the way. And like that way, I feel like I can be live for longer. If I go live at like 8, 9 o'clock at night, which I'm sure I would get more viewers, then I feel like I can't do it for as long because I still have to go to work tomorrow, right? Every Thursday I work. So, yeah, it's kind of a catch-22. So yeah, Wednesdays you can catch me live, usually early afternoon. It's 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right now. Been live for 56 minutes. So yeah, usually between 12 and 5 p.m. I would say between 12 and 5 p.m. every Wednesday you can catch me live. I usually post updates and stuff about it, like in my bulletin board. So if you're not on my bulletin board on TikTok, join my bulletin board, and I post some updates in there every now and then. Madi says, forgive me if I was pedantic. Well, I appreciate the apology. I really do, genuinely. And, sorry if I was coming off as, a bit of a dick. But sometimes I just get real. The number one way to get me mad is by just not answering my questions or deflecting. That's the number one way to crash me out, okay? And you did it. So, listen, we'll try again next week, okay? Call in next Wednesday. Isaiah 53 was written in 500 to 700 BC. It's amazing how it foretells the crucifixion. It does not. Isaiah 53 actually says nothing about Jesus. Isaiah 53 is not about Jesus. I actually was just started looking into this too. So it's funny that you bring it up. Let me pull up Isaiah 53 real quick. And I can tell you how it's not about Jesus. Isaiah... Okay, so Isaiah 53, first of all, again, not about Jesus, and the whole Isaiah 53 and the Lord's suffering stuff, it's not about an individual. It's actually talking about the nation of Israel, actually. So it's not talking about an individual person, first and foremost. Next up, it says, in Isaiah 53:3, it says, he was despised and rejected, a man of sorrows, acquainted with the deepest grief. It basically said... that he was going to be like a loner, right? Like no one was going to follow this dude like at all. He was going to be, a weird guy standing off in the corner, like the guy who stands on the corner with the sign that says like the world is going to burn, the world is ending. Winning on the contrary, Jesus actually had pretty large crowds that was following him around. Like, in some cases could be, dozens, if not hundreds of people following him around apparently. Yet not a single one of these people were literate or wrote any of this down, right? Of course. So that's why it didn't exist. He didn't exist anyways. It also says There's also a mistranslation in 53:5 of Isaiah. It says, but he was pierced for our rebellion, when actually it says he was pierced from our rebellion in the original quote-unquote Hebrew that we have. Again, that's why it's speaking of the nation of Israel, because you are piercing Israel, right? It also says in 53:7, he was oppressed and treated harshly, yet he never said a word. No, not at all. It's saying the book is saying that the Messiah will have he basically will be like a quiet giant type of thing, right? Like he's not gonna say a whole lot, right? He's gonna have his own beliefs, and people are just gonna like believe that he's God or whatever. And that's not the case. Jesus was very outspoken against like politics and societal normatives of the time. A very outspoken guy. So that's not correct. It's another reason why we know it's not talking about Jesus, because Jesus was very outspoken. In Isaiah 53:9, it says he had done no wrong and had never deceived anyone. But in Matthew 21:12, he literally assaulted people. He created a whip. He made a makeshift whip and started assaulting people with it. So I would say that's doing a little bit of wrong. And he is just a straight up liar. That's a story for another day though. In Isaiah 53:10, it says, yet when his life is made an offering for sin, he will have many descendants. This means that Jesus apparently had kids. If you think that this verse is, if you think that this chapter of Isaiah is talking about Jesus didn't have children, right? It said that he was going to live a long life. He says he will enjoy a long life. A verse later, Jesus died at like 30 with no kids. So I wouldn't consider that a very long life. And also, again, he didn't have children. So that's how we know that Isaiah 53 is not about Jesus, because Jesus didn't have kids. Isaiah 53 is about the nation of Israel. Jesus was not a loner. He had a very large group of people that were following him. There's mistranslations all throughout Isaiah 53, and he was not a peaceful person. He was very violent, and he spoke he was very outspoken about political what's the word I'm looking for? Political prowess that's going on at the time, right? He's very outspoken about it when he wasn't supposed to be, according to Isaiah 53. So, long story short, you're wrong. Isaiah 53 is not about Jesus. Boop, boop. Guys think that I haven't fucking looked into this or something. People think that I just don't know what I'm talking about, and that's the funny part. Paul, what about him? God loves you. You are very, very talkative. Yet no request for you to call up, huh? Let's see. Let's see if I can find it. Here we go. I'm going to send you an invite. God loves you. Let's see if God loves you pulls up. See, guys, reading the Bible is different than understanding the Bible. When you read the Bible, you become a Christian. When you understand the Bible, you become an atheist. Fucking fact. Islam is the truth. So, what year did the moon split? Oh, hey, thanks for being here. How old are you?
Hello. How are you? I'm 19.
19? Cool. So,
Yeah.
do you believe Jesus existed as a person in history?
Yes, I do. Yeah, he existed, in my opinion.
Why is that?
And so,
Oh, you can't leave the live. If you click off a TikTok, then it's gonna put you on pause, man. No one can hear you right now.
we have Tacticus,
Tacitus? Well, Tacitus was born, lived, and died after Jesus would have, and Tacitus never claimed to know Jesus, so who cares?
but he wrote about Jesus.
Who
right?
cares?
The
I could
Prophet
write about
David.
Jesus right now. Does that mean that he existed, or that I just
No.
have a predisposed belief on him? Because Tacitus literally is just giving his personal opinion on Jesus, and Tacitus was Jewish nonetheless, so he didn't speak very well of Jesus.
Yeah, that's good that he doesn't spoke well about him, right?
Yeah. Well,
Like,
yeah, exactly. So,
uh,
like, a guy who didn't even believe that he was the Messiah was writing about him. That's literally like if I right now write down Jesus was real on a piece of paper. That's not evidence. That's the exact same thing that Tacitus said, is that he just wrote down on a piece of paper that said Jesus was probably a real person in history. That's not evidence. That's just a guy who wrote his opinion.
I don't think like he was like in the 14th centuries, right? And how should I say this? Like I think he didn't say probably. He said like he spoke about a person named Jesus Christus. Like he said Jesus and then Christus, right?
Right. So what are you not understanding here? Because Tacitus was, let me get my notes here. Tacitus
one of
was
the most-
born. Tacitus was born in 55 CE. So if, according to scholarly consensus, Jesus's birth date possibly was in early April, possibly April 3rd to be super exact, of about 32 to 33 CE. So if we take the death of Jesus Christ at that day at 33 CE, then that means that Tacitus would have been born 22, 23 years after Jesus would have even died. So like that's no different than me writing a book on I don't know if you're familiar, kind of a weird poll, but Tiny Tim, the guy who does like tiptoe through the window, the guy who makes that song, that's like me writing a book about him because he died in like the early 90s, early 80s or something. So like who gives a shit about what I have to say about Tiny Tim because I didn't exist during his time period and I'm just giving my personal opinion on what I've been told about him. So it's irrelevant. So do we have anything other than a guy saying a thing?
You know, like that's not how ancient history works, right? Like you have like not every time somebody literally writes.
You know, people always say that. You know, people always say that to me, like, "Oh, that's just not how history." And then it's what it is it's a cope. It's a cope because you don't actually know why you believe that Jesus existed. You are just convinced of it, and then when you're backed into a corner and asked to demonstrate it, you are talking to me like I'm the stupid one for not believing in something, right?
I didn't,
okay, so what
say you're
evidence do you
stupid or
have
like
that
that.
Jesus Christ existed, or are you going to continue to cope?
Like what means cope?
So
I
it
like
means
my
that you
English
are
is not good.
butthurt and have nothing else better to say than to complain. That's what a cope is. So do you have evidence outside of the
no.
Bible, outside of a Jewish guy who didn't even believe that Jesus was God? Do you have anything other than that?
Yeah, like,
because
I'm
my
here
guy,
to,
I've been doing this for a long time, and your argument is nothing unique. It's
So,
nothing I haven't debunked hundreds of times before.
I just want to prove that he exists, not his divinity, but that he existed, right?
Great. Yeah, I want to know that. So like how can
Yeah.
we demonstrate that?
So you like you have like also eyewitnesses, right?
Like who?
Matthew, John.
No, none of those
Peter.
people claim to be witnesses. And actually,
No.
so a lot of
They
the
are
gospels
the
are literally just
disciples.
copied and pasted of the previous gospels. So like, that's just not how eyewitnesses work. You're essentially saying the Bible is true, and that's exactly my issue here.
Yeah, but they
We have no
still,
evidence that Matthew, Mark, and
count-
John were even like real people, right? Like we would like their stories that they were told are compilations of many
And
people putting them
can
together
we
over a
know
period
that
of time.
Dactycus is a real person? Right?
And also, I'm sorry,
How-
not to interrupt you
how-
again, but literally no historians agree with you right now. Like there are no biblical scholars that say that Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John were actual eyewitnesses. There's not a single fucking one, dude. It's just you.
They are eyewitnesses,
They're
and
not.
that's why they
They're
also
not.
died, because they also
not.
believe that he rose
They're
again.
not. They're not.
Why not? Why not?
Because we know this from historical evidence, right? That like the gospels are copied. They're like Mark is the earliest known gospel that we have at roughly 68 to 69 CE. Again, this is taking place about 35 years after Jesus would have existed. It's the absolute earliest gospel that we have. The earliest, it's not even the whole gospel. It is a particular page of a gospel that we have, maybe a page or two that we have of Mark from 69 CE. That is still 30 plus years after Jesus would have existed. And this is explaining entire conversations, right? Like if like, okay, so for example, I can remember from 5th grade when I went on a field trip to the zoo, right? But I don't remember a single conversation from that day. Not a single word that was spoken do I remember from the day that I went to the zoo in 5th grade, but I know I went to the zoo in 5th grade, right? That is the same thing with the Gospels. Is that imagine instead of, how long has it been since, probably like 20 years, 22 years since I've been to the zoo in 5th grade, right? Imagine 35 years, right? In 35 years, and I'm recounting entire conversations I had with people that were literally in private, like Jesus, when he's alone in the desert for 40 days and 40 nights. Who was following him around writing these things down that he was saying when he was apparently starving himself in the desert for 40 days being tempted by Satan? Or did a bunch of people come together to create a narrative to corroborate the previous narrative of Judaism to fulfill the prophecies that were made in Jewish history in the Torah, right? They just used those prophecies to create a figure to fulfill the prophecies to push the narrative that they wanted to be true. That's how we know the Gospels aren't true or written by Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John. Anything else?
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I know what you mean. I get your point, right? And for me, it sounds like that you then think that Judaism is real and that, or like, how should wait? let me think. How my words. Wait.
So let's try this
but,
again. So what
yeah.
evidence, like what is something that you can give me right now that even if I can't like debunk it right off the bat, like just something I can take away from this conversation to look into? Do you have anything unique that isn't just referencing a guy writing his personal opinion about a predisposed belief he was already indoctrinated into believing? Do you have anything else?
Like, I mean that we even speak about him today, right?
Sure.
Like,
people talk about
shows
Voldemort too. I don't know if you're familiar with Voldemort from Harry Potter, but people
yeah,
talk
but
about
they never
Voldemort too. Does that
claimed
mean
he's a
Voldemort
real
existed?
person? Did someone claim that Voldemort's a real person? Right?
I would argue there's more evidence for Voldemort than there is for Jesus. I would go there.
That's pretty funny, right?
Hey, we got
Like,
more than one resource talking about Voldemort.
yeah.
We only
But
got one
that's-
for
that's-
Jesus. We got way
like-
more for Voldemort.
No, we don't. But
Oh, yeah.
it's all right.
The Harry Potter books is like
No.
an 8-book series, like 9
Yeah,
books.
but Harry
It's
Potter
9
is
different
not a
resources
historic
just right
book.
there.
It's not a
Daniel
historic
Radcliffe
book,
is a
right?
real person. Harry Potter, like you can go talk to the guy who did Harry, who was Harry. You can go talk to Harry Potter. He's a real guy.
Yeah, no. His name is not Harry Potter, though, first of all.
I mean,
And he
it is
never
if you believe
claimed
that. Like
Harry
the whole
Potter is
point here
real,
being
right?
is that there's independent resources, right? There's independent resources saying
Yeah.
that Harry Potter is a real person who has magic superpowers. Do we have that for Jesus?
Yeah, we have
What's something
independent
other
source-
than the Bible for Jesus? Anything?
Yeah, like I said, the Bible is many books, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the books in it, also the letters from Paul we have, right?
Yep. Most of which being forgeries.
If like with forgeries, what you mean? Like,
So they're fake. Like they weren't actually written by Paul, or at the very least they are ambiguous. We have no idea who wrote them, but they're claiming to be Paul. But the writing styles are just blatantly off. They're wrong. They're not the same person.
I think I need to look into that, but
You should.
I don't think.
I'm not even totally convinced that Paul is real, but that's a story for another day.
Yeah.
But-
So.
Hey man, listen, I got some other people that are
Yeah.
calling up, but I appreciate you
okay,
for being here. We can talk to you next time.
Let's finish up. I just want to thank you for this conversation, right? That
Yeah.
you've been respectful, all that, even if we shared. different
Really, I feel like
beliefs.
I've kind of been a little disrespectful here and there, but that's just who I am, I guess.
Like, yeah, every personal opinion, right? I don't think you were, but I just want to thank you, right? Maybe some other day we can talk again, right?
I'm live every
Like-
Wednesday, so I mean, I only take like
Perfect.
this will be the only time I take your call today. But if you want to call back
Right.
next week, we can continue the conversation.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see. All right. Have a
right.
nice day. Right.
All right. Thank you. We're gonna
Bye-bye.
drop you like a hot rock. Sorry I cut you off there, but appreciate you for calling in nonetheless. That conversation actually went a lot better than I thought. I just feel like people just there's this thing called doxastic openness and doxastic closedness, right? And it's how willing you are to possibly even be open to changing your mind. It's not like the ability to change your mind. It is the willingness to change your mind, right? And that's doxastic closeness and openness. And everyone that I've talked to today seems very doxastically closed to the idea that maybe Jesus could not be a real person. Just that could, like maybe he wasn't. Because notice, this isn't a hard claim I'm making. I'm making a soft claim. Jesus probably didn't exist. I'm not saying with absolute certainty, because I can't prove to you that he doesn't exist, right? But I just don't think you can. You can prove that he does, right? That's the only thing. And I'm open to changing my mind. I'm here to be convinced otherwise. Because do you think it feels good being on the fringe side of the fence, right? No, it doesn't. It doesn't feel great, but I can't help it. It's what I'm convinced of, and I spread true facts. So if you want to convince me otherwise, I'll make a whole apology video and everything in a couple days, but till then, still a mythicist. All right, we're gonna, let's see, look at some comments in here. God loves you, sending a little heart hands. I do appreciate you. All right, guys, we are at an hour and 15 minutes into this wonderful live. We've had quite a few guests. Very thankful for everyone that's called up today. Yeah, we had a little bit of a slow start there. It was like what, probably 5 minutes, 6 minutes, maybe even longer than that until we had a solid caller. Sean, I see you coping in the comments a lot, and you're getting called out a lot, but you seem to be a coward because you're not calling up. But here, I'll send you an invite as long as your settings are on to do it. There you are. There you go. I sent you an invite. All right, chat. I sent Sean an invite. Let's see if he's a coward and just wants to cry in the comments, or if he actually wants to come up and have a real conversation like a big boy. We'll see. Sean, we're waiting. Oh, look, Sean's a coward. Hey, Sean, by the way, the more that you comment, the more it helps me out, by the way. It actually helps the live spread. And the current 40-ish people that are in here watching are literally cringing in their boots at you. So not really a gotcha. Oh, Sean, he declined the invite. Here, I'll send it again. Well, Sean, you can't just say that I'm lying. You can't just say that I'm lying and then not prove me wrong. Why do you keep denying my invite? I'll just keep sending it until you either accept it or leave. Anything yet, Sean? Anything? I would love to hear your explanation on why you think I'm lying and what you think I'm lying about. Because I don't even really know what you think I'm lying about. Everything that I've said today, you can just Google. You can literally just Google it. Like, the internet's free. You could just Google it, and or try to prove me wrong. All right, Sean's gonna let the invite sit in there because I sent him about 8 invites. And he kept denying them, and now he's just not accepting or denying them. He just wants to let it sit. So I guess, oh wait, maybe he left. Did he leave finally? Yeah, I think he left. All right, bye-bye. Kara, I'm just going to call you Kara for short. Why do you say he doesn't exist? Due to lack of evidence to warrant believing. But you're welcome to call up here and try. I'll give it, I don't know, probably 2 to 5 more minutes. And then we'll probably just, end the live. Usually, I have no idea how long I do these lives for. Honestly, it's just until people stop calling in. Once people stop calling in, then that's when I move on. do some other bigger and better things. Ooh, Coca-Cola. Crispy. And hey guys, listen, I know sometimes I can be a little harsh. I can definitely cut people off. I can come off as a dick. It's just a matter of that's just what it is. I'm sorry. That's who I am. It is my life, and that's just how I run my lives, right? Just the fact of the matter is that if you're gonna be dodgy, if you're gonna be disrespectful, if you're not going to answer super, super simple questions, if you're gonna be a filibro, I'm gonna be a dick. I am. Because I just don't stand for that stuff. If you're going to be racist or misogynistic, try to pull like a politics game on me, because again, this is not a politics live. I don't talk about politics on my lives very often. If this prompt up here ever changes to something political, we can talk about that. But yeah, so anyways, yeah, I'm kind of a jerk sometimes, but it's for the greater good, because I think us as atheists have sat back in the corner for far too long and played the bitch game, and I'm not here to do that anymore. I think it's time that we stood up for ourselves and showed these Christians what they actually believe. Making it my business. You're up next. Hey, before we get started, how old are you?
Over 40.
Cool. What's up? Do you believe that Jesus Christ was a real person?
So I'm overqualified for marriage, based on my age. Yeah. Anyways, what'd you say?
Yeah. So do you believe that Jesus Christ was a real person?
Do we believe that Yeah, I do, because do we believe that anybody in the Bible was a real person? Like at least
I mean,
one.
yeah, like
Let's
King
pick
Nebuchadnezzar
one
was.
person. Which one?
King Nebuchadnezzar.
It's in the Bible too, or
Yeah.
what, like New Testament or Old?
No, he's Old Testament.
So
King Nebuchadnezzar was real.
Did they have pictures of him, or?
I mean, well, pictures didn't like exist at that time, and there's paintings and depictions of him and stuff. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, but
Yeah, King Nebuchadnezzar was real. Like there is, oh shoot, what's his name? If I'm not mistaken, I think that Caiaphas is mentioned in there as well. Ananias, those are real people. Yeah. So there's definitely real people and things that are mentioned in the Bible. Absolutely.
Right.
I would never say
But
Herod. The commenters are saying Herod. Like King Herod's definitely real.
Real, right? Like
Yeah.
he's from the royal family, maybe, or no? Not really. No.
Herod?
Yeah. From
I mean,
the royal
yeah.
family.
Yeah, he was a king. So yeah.
Yeah. But there's different kings. Like I only hear of the British kings, but apparently there's like other kings in other country too, right? Royal family,
Yes.
like a royal family.
Yeah.
Lots of
I mean,
royal family.
kings are ever. I mean, like pharaohs are king. Like pharaoh is just Egyptian for king.
Okay. Well, I thought like maybe that would be done away by in today's modern world, right? But
But
they
well,
still,
kings.
like,
I mean, like no. There's still like kings, and like not even in just I don't think the UK is the only nation with a king. I don't think. I don't know. I'm not a. I don't study that, so I don't know.
right. But because look, I think on a dollar bill is on money, right? It's
Yeah, but I'm sorry. Anyways, we're getting kind of off topic here. So why do you believe that Jesus Christ was a real person?
Well, you speak about earthly things, and you can't speak about earthly things unless
What do you mean by that? Like, what do you mean? You're saying Jesus spoke of earthly things?
like earthly
Well,
happenings.
who cares?
let's
Because
say,
that's
like,
it's claimed that Jesus said these things, but I have no reason to believe Jesus actually spoke of anything.
I think like he existed because he was talking about like pray that it's not winter and all that stuff.
So you think
must
he
have
existed because there's writings of things
him
that are
being told.
claimed of what he said that we have no reason to believe he actually said that. So a guy saying that Jesus said this is evidence that Jesus existed. So if I tell you, that my wife told me that she believed that there was a pink unicorn in my driveway last night. Does that mean there was a pink unicorn in my driveway? Does that mean it was real? Because my wife told me that it was true, and then I wrote it down.
No, it wouldn't make it real. But
Right. So same thing
I
goes for Jesus. Like a guy saying that Jesus said this is not Jesus
live it
saying that.
myself or see it myself.
And not to mention, like I said with the last caller, the earliest known gospels that we have is like a couple of pages of Mark from like 69 CE. So that's like 35 years after Jesus would have existed. So like nobody is remembering conversations from 30 years ago. Full conversations, responses, actions made. You know, nobody is remembering whole entire conversations 30 years later, let alone the amount of detail that is given of what Jesus is apparently saying in like Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. There's just no way. There's no way. It can't happen.
Like, yeah, I don't hear stuff like God sleeps and so. But when I read that book, it says Jesus was sleeping. Like he's getting humans feel like what we go through. So it kind of makes it more real, right? That hey,
No.
okay, he's not talking from out of his ass, or he's
So-
not talking from the heavens, right?
Just
You
kind of
know?
going back a little bit. So like to clarify, is the reason that you believe that Jesus Christ existed because the Bible says quotes of Jesus?
No, I just feel like sometimes I think if I'm Jesus, so
You're
based
not.
on my no, I'm just
Like,
saying
I'm-
like
Come on
based
now.
on
Like
wisdom.
don't go on some weird fringe stuff.
No, I mean like the wisdom, right? So no, I don't care. Like that doesn't marvel me.
Do you
I
think
don't
you
wanna
have
be.
as much wisdom as the apparent Messiah? Is that blasphemy?
No, I think that's scary, like to me, because I go, maybe I shouldn't have got involved, right, in this mafia kind of world, right? It seems like a mafia, and I can't get out of it. Like it says, to those who know a lot, more is expected of them.
I don't understand where we're going with this conversation. So what evidence?
saying-
What evidence? So why should I believe that Jesus Christ was a real person? Like what? Why should I believe that?
For me, I believe more that I'm real.
No,
Right.
listen. I know that's what you believe, but why should we
Did you
believe?
believe?
Why should we objectively accept that Jesus Christ existed in history? Why should we objectively accept that?
I don't think you should have to because it's
Exactly,
fiction
and I don't.
until-
But the thing
It's
is that I
fiction,
have a lot of people like you
Yeah,
and
mhm.
you know a whole comment
No, no,
section worth of people
yeah.
that are saying that he did exist, and I think that you're clowning. I
No,
think
no,
that there's
no,
you
I'm
guys
saying,
don't.
like,
You know,
no.
there's no reason to unless you can
you-
present it.
No, for you it might be fiction, right? Because once you have the experience, then it becomes friction. Once
not
you get
just
that
for me.
friction, then you know, holy shoots, this is real. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, I
you
mean,
have
yeah,
to
if I
have
had a
that
personal experience with Jesus, my first thought wouldn't be that was actually Jesus. My first thought is that I need to go to the doctor and get my brain checked out.
Well,
I
that's
would
what
not
I'm
just
think-
become. I wouldn't accept. I honestly, having a personal experience would almost certainly not convince me because I would just think I'm having a mental episode.
Well, yeah, that could be a thing. But if you're saying, "Hey, I see dead people," right?
Yeah, I would just think I'm having a mental episode. That wouldn't be, oh my God. I wouldn't go to, wow, Jesus is real because he's standing here at my bedside. I would say, I'm having a breakdown. I need to go to the hospital. Like I wouldn't think
like-
that that's actually Jesus in front of me.
No, if you're like a manager of a company, you have a lot of experience. You
I
know
am.
what to look for.
I've been a manager of a company for the past 20 years.
So when the people you manage, they look up to you because
Mm-hmm.
you can foresee things, right? So that's you
I mean,
being-
kind of
that's
based on my
experience.
my experience and my level of education and you know and like reading reports and forecasting and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm able to like I guess you could say kind of foresee some things, you know, using
Yeah, yeah.
forecasting, using previous experiences and stuff. Yeah, and data.
Exactly. You know what to look for. You can see things before it happens. So you
But not
make,
to say that
next-
my my peers and the people below me could not do the same thing. It's just that I have more access to stuff based on my position.
Yeah, you have access, but you can give them access and they will know what to
I
do.
could, but I don't.
Yeah. Because you have to.
But I
you
don't
have
understand what
something-
your point is here.
No. They
How is
look
this getting
at
us
you
to
as
Jesus
a-
existing?
They would look at you as a type of Jesus.
No, what?
Yeah,
No.
yeah. They do. They don't tell you. They don't tell
No, my guy. Like I have managers too. Like I still have managers above me.
Yeah,
and
that's your
they're
God.
not gods. They're not Jesus. They're just a guy who gets paid more than me.
You. Yeah, but They do
Like,
look
what?
at you differently. Eh? Like maybe they don't want to hang around you, invited you to their parties.
I mean, that's
You
not
know,
true. I
you
actually,
know
I
that kind of
actually
stuff.
have gone to a lot of my boss's parties. They're pretty fun.
Oh, you're the ones higher than you?
Yeah,
No,
we
the
do. We
ones
have
that.
parties in the office, like with each other.
Yeah, but you guys are like administration. You know what I'm saying? Like you guys
You
are.
don't know that. I didn't say what I do for a living. I'm just saying I'm a manager.
Yeah, but when you have meeting, you don't bring the staff in. It's you and the boss or whoever, right? Sitting in a room.
Not
And why is
necessarily.
no?
No,
No,
sometimes I
but
have other peers with me.
yeah, yeah. Okay, so what happens in the boardroom stays in the boardroom, right?
No,
Well, Jesus had a boardroom too, so I figure
well,
you
that's a
would
claim. I
relate,
don't
right?
believe he existed to have a boardroom.
But the way things were written is somebody's professional that spoke these things, even if it's not Jesus.
Not really. No, it's almost certain that a lot of these people were like Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Like a lot of these people are written by later scribes who were literate because the
Yeah.
people who lived during the time frame that Jesus would have existed, or even shortly afterwards, were just straight up illiterate and wouldn't be able to even write down anything about him, even if they wanted to. So they pass it by oral tradition. So essentially, once you get to 69 CE with the earliest Gospel of Mark, it's just oral tradition that some dude just like got a hold of and was a little bit literate and started writing this stuff down, and then he died, and then someone else picked it up later and finished the book. And that goes on for Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. They're all just compilations of a lot of people making a lot of really crazy claims without actually demonstrating the truth of them.
Yeah, it's so crazy. When you say crazy, you mean like you've never heard
People
or
walking
seen
on
these
water
things,
and having
right?
magic X-Men superpowers
Yeah,
is
yeah,
pretty crazy. Yeah.
yeah. Never seen or heard these things before.
Yeah.
But isn't science bringing it up to that level right now?
No.
Where people are elevating themselves with
No.
machines, like they're standing in it and then
No.
it goes up in the air.
Nope.
No, you didn't see that on
No,
TikTok.
no, I'm telling you, they're not. Like, they're not. People don't fly. I don't know how else to tell you that.
No, they're not flying without the machine, but they have something.
No,
like,
listen, my dude, you're coping. People don't fly. No amount of technology, right? I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry to tell you, there is never going to be a technology that they can plug into your brain and you're just going to start flapping your arms and flying around. Jesus levitated up into heaven in front of a bunch of people, and then zombies resurrected while he was doing that. He was changing water into wine. He was walking on water. He was healing deadly genetic diseases. He was curing blindness. He was feeding the hungry. Right? These are all met by he was feeding thousands of people with one fish and 2 loaves of bread. Right? You can't do these things. No amount of science is going to make these things like true. It's just going to be faking it till you make it, right? So, I mean, are you saying that either we are God or Jesus was a good magician and he wasn't actually a God? Which of those are true?
yeah, the part that gets me is when he did resurrect. Why did he have to have the scar in his hands, right? So, because I'm thinking it's all in the imagination. That
Okay,
this
man,
guy
listen,
resurrected.
I appreciate you for being here. I'm going to let you go for now because I'm sorry. I don't think that you are mentally capable of continuing this conversation. I don't think that you have the capacity to understand what this conversation is because we have not stayed on topic for this entire conversation. So we're going to move on because I just don't think you actually know what's going on here. I don't think you're following me at all. I don't know if you're trolling or if you're influenced by something, but it's not getting us there, dude. Hey guys, thanks for being here. If you're watching over on YouTube post production, I appreciate you for being here. You guys are awesome. Make sure to like and comment on the video. Give you a subscribe, of course. That's stuff that people say for YouTube stuff, right? Guys, we're gonna take one more guest, and then I'm gonna end the live for the day. We have one more guest loaded up in here. Thank you guys for the likes, follow, shares. We are up to exactly 11,000 likes on TikToks. Make sure you are double tapping that screen. Share it with your friends and family, and let's get some theists up here. Not just theists up in here, but some people that believe that Jesus Christ existed. Because if Jesus Christ existed, I would love to know why. All right, we're gonna take the final guest. Logic, welcome. As soon as you load up in here. Hey, how old are you?
Hey, I'm 32.
Cool. What's up? Do you believe that Jesus Christ was a real person in history?
So I'm gonna be honest. I actually don't believe that he existed, but so the big thing I want to bring up to you is what if he didn't exist, but that doesn't matter. I mean, everything that's written in the Bible and the Gospels is still valid, is still like from the heart, it still gets you to God.
Oof. I would disagree. I would disagree that it is from the heart. I would disagree it gets you to God. Now, the Bible does say some good stuff here and there. Don't get me wrong. The Bible says good stuff, but it's nothing unique. It's nothing that people weren't like during that time period already saying and doing and pushing onto as societal norms. Like the golden rule is not something that Christianity came up with. The golden rule existed in fucking Zoroastrian times, like thousands of years before Christianity did. The Egyptians practiced the golden rule and talked about it all the time. So like, just because the Bible says some good stuff doesn't negate the absolutely terrible, dreadful things that it condones and says to do to other people. And the fact that other people are using that belief to harm other people. And that's my big contention here is that, like, yeah, I mean, in the end, does it like really matter that Jesus existed or not? I mean, probably not, because he's dead anyways, right? And he didn't have magic superpowers, even if he did exist. But it's just a matter of the fact that, like, if Christianity is built off of this one guy, and that one guy is supposed to be God and the guy that you look up to, and he turns out to be fake, he's not real, he never existed, then the entirety of the Christian faith makes no sense at all, and it crumbles. So, like, it's important, but, like, it isn't in a normal day conversation. Yeah, that's where I'm coming from.
So I completely get what you're saying, and I kind of agree. But on the other hand, I see like today thousands of people that are like heavy fans of Star Wars, the Avengers, I don't know, the Marvel comics, whatever. And they can even dress up like them and whatever, go to the park and play like sword lasers, I don't know.
Okay.
How that story we know is fiction, but there are so many people that find truth and I don't know, purpose, or I don't know, they find so many so much meaning in those stories that even though we know they are not true, they
Correct.
still hold up. I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, I acknowledge, like, people can enjoy things, right? They can enjoy Star Wars or the Hunger Games or I don't know, some, like, name the TV show or series or whatever in here. But the thing is like, people aren't, like, I don't know what country you're living in at the moment. I'm in America, and Christian nationalism is a very real thing. People are using the Bible to harm other people, large majorities of people. And people aren't doing that with Star Wars. So, like, people dressing up as an Ewok and having lightsaber fights is not affecting my life. That is not harming me at all. Other people dressing up as Katniss Everdeen from Hunger Games and shooting bow and arrows at a target on a tree and playing Hunger Games or whatever, that's not harming me. People, that's not being influenced on government policies that are being enforced onto me and enforced onto your children who are in school or out in public or being indoctrinated in the church, right? Like, there's no Star Wars churches out there that aren't paying taxes but are objectively harming millions of people every single day and are excommunicating them if they leave the Star Wars faith. That's not a thing that's happening. So that's why, like, I don't talk about that, right? Like, that's why it's like, it's a really big deal that we have these
Star Wars
conversations.
churches.
Sorry, what was your question?
No, I'm sorry. So I am from Chile. I am not from the USA, but I am aware of your situation, and in fact, I completely agree with you. I am an atheist, and I just wanted to make these questions to you. And thank you much. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Yeah, we appreciate it. I'm gonna let you go for now, but I appreciate you for coming up, asking some questions. It's always good to clarify some things. But hey, guys, that is gonna be the last guest for today. I appreciate everyone for watching. If you're watching on TikTok live currently, make sure to give that screen some double taps before you go. Sorry, I'm hitting my camera and stuff. Double tap the screen. Make sure to share it with your friends and family. Get them to follow me. Give me a follow while you're here. You can click on the top corner up here, and you can find my profile up in here. Next week's topic will be different. It will not be Jesus probably didn't exist. I try to come up with a new topic to discuss every week, try to keep it interesting for you guys. So feel free to send me a suggestion on something you want me to talk about next week. I'd be open to hearing it. If you're watching this on post-production over on YouTube, thank you for staying around for the live. I'm sorry it was a slow startup at first. About 5-6 minutes of no one calling in, kind of boring, but hey, you got to listen to me talk about some stuff. Yeah, if you're over on YouTube, give it a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. And yeah, you'll get some more debates. You get updated on when I'm live next. I'm live every Wednesday between like 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sometime in between there, kind of depends. But with all that being said, make sure to follow me everywhere, guys. Stay away from Christianity. Stay away from religion, because we are all way too old for this. We're all better than this, right? Like we have no reason to be following legitimate fairy tales. We need to work together as a society to ban these beliefs. Sorry. What do you call a book club that's been stuck on the same book for years? Church. That's funny. Good one. Nice one to sign off on. But hey, guys, thank you for being here. I appreciate you, and we'll see everyone next time. Bye.